welcome to the latest episode of the Rangers Women's Supporters Group podcast. As always, I'm joined by Kat and Alan. How are you both doing?
A bit warm, but, as good as can be.
Alan?
Still pretty gutted, but surprisingly positive. Compared to this time last year, far, far more positive.
Yeah, so the title was decided today, and unfortunately it was taken cruelly back off us again in the dying moments of the game with Celtic winning, but we'll briefly discuss the game and the season and see where we go. So the team that started today against Partick Thistle was Vic in goal again. That seems to be her spot. We had the back three of Tess, Kathy and Nick, Chelsea Cornet and Olivia McLaughlin just in front of them, Lizzie Arnott and Mia McCauley at the wings, Kirsty McLean starting in the 10, and then we had Howitt and Hardy up front. Were you happy with that, Car?
Yeah, nothing too surprising other than Kirsty McLean starting, which I had said briefly just before the team came out to you guys. Kirsty will start and you all said no, so I was right about one thing today. But, probably our strongest team with, both Rachel's seemingly being out with slight knocks. Fairly comfortable with it, eh?
Yeah, it was a strong team, I think it was kind of what we expected. There wasn't too many surprises in there.
No, I don't think it was. Kirsty starting was maybe a wee bit of a surprise, but it was pre-planned that she was going off after 45 minutes, so it was just building up her minutes and starting her instead of bringing her on at half time. So no great surprise. Obviously disappointed both Rachels are still missing out, but they don't seem to be too serious in just managing their recoveries.
Yeah, Cash, so we started well. We actually played quite well today, to be fair. I think Liv McLaughlin was desperate to get a goal. She had a few shots that went wide, but we started quite quick. Kirsty Howitt getting on the score sheet fairly early. Tess getting an assist. A strong start.
It was a strong start, although I don't know about you, but I thought she was offside, but Rangers have quoted it as beating the offside trap, so I guess she wasn't offside, but it counted. Ball from Tess in, and Kirsty's just there to hit it home, and then Tess gets her own goal, and then happy days. We started really well. We played really well today, I will say that, very attacking, very intense, exactly how I wanted us to play all season. But again, missing chances. But we're being positive today, so I won't talk about that.
Yeah, Alan, it was a really good first half, I would say, as well. Tess got a turned assist, and then she gets her own goal, as Car said there, Lizzie getting an assist. And then Kirsty Howitt gets another goal just to top off her birthday. A nice double for her to celebrate her birthday with. And we went in 3-0 at half time.
Yeah, I think very much once Tess struck that second goal, the players knew the game was won. It was just a case of playing out and seeing how things would go. And Kirsty Howitt's now 5 goals this week after her hat trick on Wednesday. So, she's in good form now, ending the season. But I think it just became a bit of a strange second half after being in such a good position at half time.
Yeah, Car, we went in 3-0 up, and for anybody that's not been following, it was 0-0 still across at that place with Celtic and Hibs, so we were kind of starting to believe a little bit.
Yeah, it took me a little bit longer to believe. When it got more towards the 89th minute of their game, that's when I really started to believe, and then just to have it cruelly ripped away from us a couple of minutes later. But that's football, and we've not maybe been as consistent or scored as many goals as we should have this season, and that's what ultimately has cost us this title. But it's not all doom and gloom to be chasing them all the way and be top for so long. We lost 2 games this season, which is crazy that's the stat, and then we didn't win the title. But what Joe's done for this team has been incredible, and it's an exciting time to be associated with this club.
Yeah, Alan, so we went at the second half, only one goal in the second half, and it did fall to Liv, so she finally got that goal that she was so badly craving. And then Jo kind of, as she does, kind of mixed up the team. Rio went off. Kirsty McLean went off at half time. Sarah Ewens and Jane Ross came on. And then Hayley Austin was on at one point, and then she was back off because she got a head knock. Kathy got a knock, and she went off. Rogan came on for Lizzie, and then Lisa finally got some minutes for, obviously, when Ailey had to go off, and then the final sub was Jodie going off and Kirsty going off even, and Jodie coming on. So minutes spread across the team as Jo has been doing this season. Everybody kind of chipping in, but as Cara says, we just fell short just at the end when Celtic finally did score and our hopes were dashed.
Yeah, we couldn't have done any more today. We're never going to go and put 16, 17 goals past Partick, or there'd have been inquests all summer. But we were a wee bit worried when Ella went off. We weren't sure what was wrong, but we should have realised we'd made 6 subs, so it must have been concussion. So Ella seems to be fine, thankfully, and just taken off as a precaution. It did look like Lisa was coming on anyway, and maybe either Tess or Nick were going to get a wee bit of a rest.
Yeah, Cash, the game finished 4-0. It's probably, considering the performances we've kind of put in recently, after Jo saying we're the fittest team, we kind of looked leggy recently, but we did put in a really good performance, and I think overall for the season, the girls can be really proud of themselves with the performances I've put, and it's just been mistakes that have cost us. And I think Tess summed it up perfectly in her post-match interview when she said that we've handed them the title, they've not earned it, because we've been leading the full way, and then it's just been a couple of slip-ups, a couple of mistakes that have kind of cost us it, really.
Yeah, it pretty much has been, hasn't it? There's been a couple of games where we've almost beaten ourselves because we just weren't up to it, or just didn't. We're hitting the keeper at every occasion, thinking of the Hearts game, the Partick game. We should have had a lot more goals had we just been that little bit more clinical. But, up until that point, we were absolutely cruising. We were, battering teams left and right, looked really strong, really fit. The formation that Jo brought in, it's been a breath of fresh air for this squad. It's just been incredible. And the players that she's brought in as well, Rachel Rowe and Rio Hardy especially have been instrumental to this team all season. So we did so well, but just almost after the split, we just kind of took our eye off it a little bit, and maybe due to fitness and injuries and just thinking, oh, we'll be fine, we've done it all season, and it just didn't turn out to be. But especially that Hearts and Partick game, I think that's really where it kind of cost us. And then just not putting teams to the sword when we should have. We should have battered certain teams 6-7-0, and we only beat them 2-1 or 1-0 or whatever it was. So it's unfortunate, but there's definitely something with this squad and this team and what Jo and Jay have done. There's something special here, and you can feel it. And the team all know that, how gutted everyone was after this game, that they just fell short a couple of games. So next season they have to be almost perfect every game. And I'm sure they'll do that, because I'm sure as much as we don't want to experience this again, they don't want to experience this again. So, as gutting as it is right now, there's definitely Jo's post-match interview today has got us all ready to run through brick walls. So I'm sure the team are all ready to, and whoever she brings in this summer will be wanting to do it. Have a right good crack at Champions League, get some more money in, and then potentially go and spend it on some big name players.
Yeah, and I think if you said to Jo, I think you probably did, to be fair, which we'll come to soon, that if you had said to her at the end of the season, you're going to have a trophy already, potentially win the league, and then you're going to have a Scottish Cup final as well, she literally would have been like, yep, we'll take that. So it comes so close, get this cash to get the Champions League spot as well, when we missed out on that last year. She's done far probably exceeded her own expectations of what the group would do, especially with the new formation and that as well. So she's probably, as we're proud of them, she's proud of them, but it still kind of hurts just how close we came and just to fall at that kind of final hurdle. But we're definitely ahead of where she thought we were going to be, so it's definitely exciting and she's probably planning already for next season.
Definitely, and it's not something that will come across as an excuse for Joe. Joe said consistently all season that we are much further ahead and further down the line and developing than she expected. You know, our start to the season particularly wildly exceeded where Joe expected us to be at that time. She spoke after a game today about, you know, how much she wanted to change, and not just in the playing style, but a lot of stuff behind the scenes. You know, so Joe's come in and changed a lot, and said herself, if you'd offered possibly two cups and been goal difference away from winning the league and being the only team to do the treble up here, which hasn't happened, I don't believe, since, you know, a team started going pro. So she said you would jump at that, being offered that at the start of the season. But obviously the way it's transpired and went, you know, it's a signal that, you know, we've came up short, especially how today sort of went out. That was just sums it up.
No, yeah, just it basically does sum up the season in one day. So, who would you be your player of the match for today, Car?
Do you know what? I think probably Liv, because she was hacked at and pulled all over the shop by their players, and you know, had a right good go, a couple of really long range efforts that, you know, were just wide and hit the bar. So, and then she got her goals, and she was just been tremendous all season. So for me today, it was Liv.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think she's bought right at what the club's about in that as well, and she's just seems to be a winner. So hopefully we can keep her for next season, especially with Villa being a bit up there now. But what about yourself, Alan?
We'll make it a full house. I thought Liv was excellent today. You know, the way she demanded her goal, you know, was real lucky. I was sort of right in front of us. We could hear her demanding that ball for Sarah. Sarah done brilliant to hold it up and lay it off just so Liv could run on and put it past the keeper. So she thoroughly deserved that goal. And as we say every week, she's getting better every week. So full house for Liv for player in the match.
Rightly so. So you spoke to Joe, and was it Tess you spoke to, Alan?
Yeah, Tess came up first, followed by Joe. So I asked a couple of questions at Tess. So got about 3 minutes here.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you. Trying to put it here.
How difficult is it as a player, Tess, to play in that environment where the game's won, but you're waiting and relying on something happening and trying to gauge the mood of the crowd, as you say?
Yeah, the first time was easier because, I was mainly just in our own game, and we're trying to make sure that we were winning first. That's why when I scored that 2-0, I was like, good, because we don't want to leave any doubt here. Like, if it stays 1-0, like, anything can happen. So I was just happy that we were 3-0 up at halftime, and then I could gauge from the reaction of the crowd that, and we heard it soon enough, that it was 0-0 at Celtic Park. So we were hoping, that it would stay that way. So that gave us a little bit of hope going into the second half. But it was a bit of a, I guess you could say, difficult or a bit of a strange game going into the second half, where the game was won here, and we still wanted to play well and then score a few more goals if possible, leading into the cup final next week as well. But when it got a bit quiet towards the end, I was afraid that Celtic might have scored, which unfortunately they did.
Looking at the season as a whole, from your point of view, you've played a part in every game since Spartans on day one. How's the season been for you?
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to stay fit throughout the season. This is my third year in a row. I've played a lot of games. I played my 100th game for Rangers as well. So, I'm really, really happy to be able to get the confidence from the coaching staff and play so much. For me personally, it's been a season where I've transformed a bit from a six, from a holding midfielder to a centre back in a new formation. And in these last games, I didn't just play as a central centre back, but more on the right side, which allowed me to go forward a bit, which I've enjoyed. From a position formation point of view, I enjoyed it because it gave me some new challenges and some new things to think about, and to further improve myself as a player. So I've enjoyed that aspect. Joe brought in new tactical ideas. yeah, I have really enjoyed that aspect of the season, and it's just such a shame that we weren't able to reward ourselves, coaching staff and players and everyone together with a league title.
As a midfielder who's played most of the season in defence, have you spoke much to Jo about that, because she did that as a player?
Yeah, we did speak about it. In the beginning, it was more a bit of a necessity because there were a few defenders injured. So I think she did see me as a midfielder at the start, but then it sort of somehow happened that I ended up in the back line, and then she was like, "Well, you could actually use your qualities there." And yeah, she did say that it reminded her of her own how her own career went. So yeah. She's someone with a lot of technical knowledge, and she definitely helps me out in that position there.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tess.
Thanks very much.
So it's good to see and sort of talk to one of the players about what it was actually like playing in that game and trying to pick up the sort of vibe for the crowd. So that was a good sort of wee chat. It was quite good that we've had Tess available all season.
Yeah, she's one of the players that you can rely on. Considering she's had her own injury battles with a couple of ACL injuries and that, she seems to have really hit a good stride of fitness over the last few years. However, she's managed to do that. Maybe she needs to tell other players, don't know. But yeah, she's just so reliable, isn't she, Kat?
Yeah, sure, she's a Swiss or Dutch army knife, I guess you could call her, that she does just slot, into that back line wherever she may be out wider in the centre back position, and she just has really taken it on, because I remember last season, especially the Benfica game, that she played in that position, and we were all, oh no, like, she's not good enough for that position, it's going to cost us. And then this season, she's just come on leaps and bounds in that position. I'd prefer her to be in midfield and not be in that position where she's having to play there, but she's definitely got more minutes than she probably might have had she not been in that position because of the midfield, how strong it's been. But then obviously Christian McLean gets injured and she potentially could have. But she's just such an outstanding player, for her age and everything. She's certainly been in the game a long time, so she knows what it's like. But the fact she's still learning and adapting and improving is an incredible testament to how good she is.
Yeah, absolutely. And what did Jo have to say, Alan?
She had one or two things to say, but I'll let you listen to 4 minutes of Jo Potter talking football.
Happy days.
You'll always talk about the team and the support first, but the end of your first league campaign as a manager, how do you immediately reflect on that?
I'm super proud. I'm super proud of the players. I think I've asked a lot of them this year. I've changed quite a lot. A new way of playing, a new style, a new formation, a new way of working week to week. Asking them to do so much more in training sessions, covering so much more distance, covering so much more high speed, all in the year where we're trying to build and win things. And I've always said from day one, it'll be next year that you'll see the real us. We've seen loads and loads of glimpses this year, and we've played some excellent football. And I've said all along that we bought into a way and a style of playing so much quicker than what I thought we would. So we've got a very good base to build on. Yes, we're gutted about the league campaign, especially being down to goal difference. So that's something that we need to put right for next year. It's not necessarily our head-to-heads, because out of probably 10 games against our rivals, we've only lost 1 game. So when you look at it like that, that's not where we've lost the league. So we know we're good in big games. We just need to be better in the other games where we should be winning. But other than that, my overriding feeling is pride. I think the girls are putting a real big shift. I've asked a lot of them, and we'll definitely be better for it next year.
Building for the future, how important is it to have a core experience who've been party to last days where we've just not quite got there?
Yeah,
how important is that?
Well, we don't want that to be a third, do we? We don't want it to come down to that. We want it to be in our own hands. It probably shouldn't have, where we were in positions where we were ahead, 6 points ahead. The league probably should have been done a few weeks ago, and we'd be building towards another cup final. So we don't want to do that again. But those experiences are big. But it's not the experiencing today that matters. It's experiencing those moments where we slipped up along the way. They're the big ones for me, because we knew we'd turn up today. I knew we'd turn up today. A little bit of pressure, but it's when that pressure's a little bit off, and we think that we maybe should win these games, but we need to be doing more to make sure that we do win those games. So there are moments we need to learn from, and we definitely will.
We know when we get to this point in the season, there's always talk about players' futures, and that this is your first year as a manager. How do you find having the conversations?
Easy. I promised the players when I came in that we'd decide futures early. Would never leave it down to last minute and end the season. So you'll see a lot of announcements this next week, no doubt. Don't know if I should have told you that, but you will.
I was going to ask actually.
Don't tell anybody else. Keep that quiet. No, you'll see some announcements because we've made sure we've done our work early. I think it's important that I've been involved in women's football where you don't know if you've got a contract in 4 weeks of your contract finishing, and I don't think it's okay. Something that I raised with the club when I first came in, and the club have been brilliant. Donald's been brilliant at sorting it out and making them talks happen early. So we've been talking to players, our own players, from Christmas and negotiating contracts. So we're doing things right, and I think that's the big thing for me. The club are doing things right off the pitch when they're in us, damn it, right on the pitch. And when it does come together, I think you'll see the fruits of that.
Will we see those announcements before the cup final to let players say goodbye? Don't
know. I'm not telling you anymore. I'm going to get told off. I'm not sure when they're out. I'm not sure when some announcements are out. But we've got some good announcements coming. I don't know if it's next week or the week after, but it's soon. We've got some good announcements coming out.
Last one. How's Ailey? I was a wee bit worried.
Yeah, it was. It was a knock to the head. So we've got to be careful on that one. We'll never take any risks. Players. Health is paramount for us, and she was just a little bit dizzy, so we've got to be careful on that one. We got her straight off and looked after her.
Brilliant, thanks.
Thank you.
So, what's your response to that, Laura?
Getting the exclusives, Alan. I could listen to Jo talk all day, to be honest. You could have been talking to her for an hour and I just sat and listened to. But no, positive. Let's just get the cup final out of the way and get the season started the next again week, because I'm ready for it already. But she's just so positive, and I think, as she's saying, getting the business done off the park as well. Donald seems to have come in and just got it straight away. Jo's got it. So I think on the women's side of the club, they're really, two of them are just going to strive for the absolute best, and that's exactly what it should be, because that's what Rangers is all about.
What about you, Carl?
Oh, buzzing. Do you know, I love Jo that much. Just not in a weird way, but in the sense that she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's talking about. From the first day, that game against Spartans, first game of the season, we spoke to her briefly, her and Jay. And just from that moment, you knew she knew what she was doing. She wasn't just winging it and, I played football, so I know what's going on. She absolutely knows what she's doing. And the fact that she's already got players signed up and, that was done at Christmas is incredible, because it has kind of felt in past seasons that it's come right down to the wire and nobody really knows what's going on with the contracts. And we've been out of you're a bit in the dark with it. So to know that, this coming week or the week after, we'll find out and know going into the summer, okay, we've got this potentially core group here, people we can add to it, and let's just get our passports out and get booking up for wherever we might be going, abroad, and pre-season friendlies and all that kind of stuff, and then let the excitement build again. And then I will potentially go and win 2 cups this season, and then next year we have to build on that and go and be better than we were this season. And with Jo around, I fully believe that they will do that, because she doesn't strike me as a manager that people are willing to just, it's fine, we came pretty close. She's not going to accept that. She understands the standards at this football club, which is incredible for someone that's come from down south and come up and bought into it straight away.
Yeah, like Laura says, you could talk to Jo all day long, but, it goes without saying, I think all is here absolutely so grateful to the club for allowing us that access. It's been brilliant doing that for the last 6 months. So thanks once again to the club for that.
Might not get it next season when you're getting exclusives at Jo, but it's been good while it lasts.
That's up to you. You do all the sorting out, Laura. So
I know, I'll need to sweet talk someday. So yeah, really positive looking ahead to next season. But we'll go over briefly our predictions, because if you are here for the start listening to the podcast, you will know that we made some predictions at the start of the season, we predicted the goal scorer, who would be the top goal scorer, top of the assists, and also the trophies. So Car's looking a bit worried. So for Alan, you predicted the top goal scorer would be Kirsty Howitt, as did you, Car. So not too bad. And then I predicted Rio as top goal scorer. So I think I got that one, didn't I, Alan?
Yeah, all competitions are Rio's get 34 goals and Kirsty Howitt scored her 25th goal of the season on her 25th start today.
There we go. So that's 1-0 to me. Top of the assists, we had Alan said Kirsty McLean, Car said Megan Bell, which was nowhere near it. She went off on loan. And then I had said I could have agreed with you on Megan, and then I said or Kirsty McLean. So I think I'll take half a point for that, to be honest. So Alan gets that one because even though Kirsty McLean's been out, I'm sure you said yesterday that Kirsty McLean's still top assist.
There's actually 3 I've got is having 13 assists: Kirsty McLean, Kirsty Howitt, and Rachel Rowe now. So Kirsty Howitt and Rachel have caught up, seeing as Kirsty spent 4 months sitting and amongst the fans.
But still, we'll give you a wee bit of a point for that. Then
I'm taking the point.
I'll take a little bit of points since I also said
I get no points.
Car's just here for the banter, to be honest. So for the trophies, Alan said we would win 2 trophies, which looks to be right. Although he did say a league and cup double. You were nearly right. Although Car and I were also nearly right because we did nearly get the treble, but we just fell a bit short. So I think that kind of sums up that we kind of know our stuff, but we need a bit of practice. But we just fell short just at the end, a bit like the team. So Megan Bell was a shout though, Car, to be honest.
I mean, who could have known that she would go out on loan? I don't think anybody saw that coming, not even herself. So, and also we didn't really know much about Rio at that point. We weren't that, sure about Rachel Rowe. So, how could we know?
Next season's predictions will be fun anyway. So that's a predictor for that. The score predictor, Alan, did you manage to get it sorted?
Yeah, so it's just about ready to post. Before I post it on Facebook, I'll add some commentary to it. But some big scores this week in the predictor. Having a quick look, Mike Mason got 21 points this week, and Alan Wright got 20. Gordon Hall got 16, was at a 3rd place this week, but couldn't do enough to catch Keith Bryce, who we're delighted to present with a signed match ball for winning the predictor contest. So it's a total of 30 people entered over the course of the season. Some, granted, only entered once, but anybody entering and taking part has made it a lot of fun for a lot of people. So while it can take a wee bit of time to catch up on and do each week, it's absolutely been worth doing it. We've had people start paying a wee bit more attention to other teams in the league, what's happening, updates, and there's been a bit of quality banter around it as well. So well done to everybody that's taking part, and particularly well done to Keith Bryce, who's won it.
Yep, well done to Keith. And as you say, thanks to everybody for taking part. It was great fun. And for the Olympics that's happening during the summer, Graham's going to be doing a small, I think it's a predictor of some sort, so that'll be up on the page fairly soon for another little bit of fun, and we'll see what prize we can come up with for that. But yeah, always good to get people involved, and I think, Car, it definitely made people watch the scores of other games as well, so it kind of grew the attention of what are the other scores and the other teams that were happening around the leagues.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, even just for myself, because as much as I would pay attention to the results, I wouldn't really be looking at who plays for who and who they brought in and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely opened my eyes, which I'm sure it has for a lot of other people, to take a look at, Hearts and Hibs and Spartans and even Ackies and that at the bottom of the table to pay attention to them, because I think a lot when the split happens, you kind of just pay attention to the top, the team, like where your team is. So it's been good in that sense that we've paid attention to both sides. So it's been a good fun. I started off really well, much like our season, and just fell short right at the end of the thing, but it wasn't to be. I've always got next year.
Whereas we've got some practice in and guessing scores now, so can only get better. Alan, have you got a loan review for us?
Yeah, so last games of the season, obviously Megan Cunningham and Jenna Ferguson couldn't play. They were ineligible as we played Partick. Dropped down into SWPL 2. Lucy Inman kept goal for 90 minutes for his champions Queen's Park. We'll be seeing Queen's Park in a few months in the league. Hamilton were probably the biggest game in the league today for them, and they lost 3-0 at home to Montrose, so Hamilton will be swapping places with Queen's Park. Mason Clark played 57 minutes before going off, and Becca's no made it back for injury. So Mason, I believe, got Hamilton's player of the season, or young player of the season. So Mason's had a brilliant season at the moment at Hamilton, even though the team have struggled. So Mason, I'd expect, will come back and look to be in contention with Joe's in the squad in the summer. Megan Bell played for Hearts. She came off the bench against Glasgow City, played the last 13 minutes. Summer Laird was an unused sub as Spartans beat Aberdeen. And Kayla Jardine and Laura Berry both played for Motherwell, 73 and 65 minutes respectively. Motherwell finished off the season winning 1-0 away at Dundee United, so that score staying down saved Dundee United, and they'll be in a playoff against, not sure if it's Kilmarnock or Livingston they'll play next Friday. So a mixed bag for our lone players this season, but I think by a distance the standouts have been Mason Clark and Kayla Jardine.
Yeah, I think Laura Berry going there has helped us massively as well for Motherwell, because I think they've got sort of, seen a stat I had earlier, I think it's 11 games unbeaten or something like that. So considering that's pretty much could have been Laura Berry starting banging in goals, I think it's interesting to see if we send her out alone again or if we keep her card. But I think Kayla and Mason can certainly be knocking on Joe's door if they've not already, to kind of be looking for a place in the team next season, because they've done really well and shown that they can kind of play in the SWPL already.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all knew Laura Berry does what Laura Berry does, and she scores goals and gets in those areas. But Kayla and Mason, and even Becca to some degree when she was playing, have improved massively with being out on loan at, other SWPL clubs. So, I'd absolute credit to themselves and to the club and, to their families, everything that they put into this season. It must be hard to go out on loan. You want to play for the club that you're at. Joe maybe thought you need to go and get more experience, and they've all absolutely gone and smashed that. So be an exciting bit in the summer to see if they do go back out on loan or if they stay with us and we get to experience it firsthand instead of having to go to other games to watch other clubs to see how our players are getting on.
Yep, so that's the SWPL all wrapped up. We do have one final game next week though, as we take on Hearts at Hampden. Half 2 kick-off, and I think it's live on BBC One, possibly. Tickets are still available, so get along and obviously support the team. Probably be winning another trophy, so that's always fun. Do you think we'll see much change to the team card? I think hopefully the two Rachels will be back in by next week.
I mean, going by how we spoke to, both Rachels, but especially Rachel McLaughlin at the end of the game, very much seemed like they were being rested and just kind of given that bit of time to recover for the cup final, because there are absolutely two that need to be in the team going into that game. Yes, it's against Hearts, and it's not maybe going to be as difficult of a game as it would have been versus a City, a Celtic, however, but it's Hearts Cup final. They're going to want to give, push us all the way. So, it's an exciting time, and hopefully they'll be fit and ready and we'll have a really, really strong side. But it'd be nice for Kirsty McLean to get more minutes. Vic, I'm assuming, will play. She's been the cup keeper, but she's also been the league keeper in these last few games. So I'm assuming she'll bow out, because as much as I'd love her to, I don't think she's staying next season. So it really will be her last hurrah for us. So it'd be good to see, us go out with hopefully a clean sheet and all the defence perfectly fine. And then we score a barrel load of goals and we all just have a wee party to end the season.
Yeah, Alan, on that, what would be your score prediction for next week?
I hope we come out a wee bit sort of hurt and angry after how today's went, and just batter hearts. Or I think Big Park Hampden will certainly help, although I don't think it's much bigger than the park at Broadwood. But I think we'll get 5-0. In terms of the two Rachels, Joe went on to say sort of post-match it's a quad injury, or not so much an injury, just a wee bit of tightness for Rachel McLaughlin. So I'm just managing her minutes, because there's not been so much training with the 3-game weeks, and she's having to sort of spike her training to get ready for a game, and then sort of drop off a wee bit and take a bit longer to recover. So Rachel was a bit day to day. She's got a foot injury, so they're just seeing how that is, and she might be a bit touch and go for a final, but they're quite hopeful that both will at least be in contention.
Cash, score prediction?
I'll be a bit more conservative and I'll say 4-0.
Just a bit more conservative, just a goal.
A little bit. What should be a 1-0?
Really conservative and go extra time.
I'll go even more conservative and say 3-0. So we're slowly. Well, we're going so positive there with the other parts, and then we've just went, but yeah, 3-0. So get your tickets, get along, and let's one final push to get our double. As always, my thanks to Kat and Alan for joining me.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks for the whole season and everything that you've done. It's been fantastic. The growth of the group as a whole has been tremendous, and so many new people and new faces coming up to us at games and buying all our stuff. It's been, it has really been special this season. So just thank you for everything.
Thanks. Thanks to Alan for all your help with the media and everything. So we'll wrap it up there. You got anything to add, Alan?
No, I think just building on Carl's point, thanks to everybody that's been involved in the group and got involved and, put ideas, comments, feedback, any encouragement in, but massive thanks to you for all that you do for your part in it, goes without saying, you've driven a lot of this, so, You've done a great job and deserve the recognition that Carl's poured on you on Facebook. But Carl, you yourself deserve a ton of credit for all the work you put in to what we've got here. So, let's make it a positive summer, and we'll just keep looking forward.
I don't know if that's the sunburn or if it's Carl actually taking a beamer, but just rather than it ending on us, because it's not all about us. We did actually give out our awards today for Player of the Season, Goal of the Season, and Special Recognition Award. Easy for me to say. Mia won both Player and Goal of the Season, and we gave Brogan the Special Recognition Award for all our contribution to the clubs over the past however many years it is now that she's been here. She's been here forever. So yeah, we'll have pictures and whatnot up on our social media soon. Shora, thanks to Shora who took the pictures professionally, so we'll get them sent over and can look out for them. And also thanks to Steph, Brogan's mum, for making us a beautiful bouquet of flowers to give to Brogan, which was a surprise to her. But yeah, just thanks again to use your hard work, everybody, for joining the group and making it a special season, and one final game to make it even more special. So on that note, we'll sign off there and we'll see you next week.